In this video, I'm going to be philosophizing on quest and how a quest actually deepens our capacity to ask questions, and not just ask questions, actually create meaningful answers to those questions as we explore deeper journeys, but not quite ever come up with satisfying answers, and ones that tend to actually create more questions during the questing of specific original questions that we might ask, like whether or not there is a meaning to life, and why meaning matters, and why meaning is meaningful, and why meaning matters at all. Not just why it matters, but why not just I should care about meaning, but other individuals should care about meaning. And these tend to be what have really got specific philosophers, and not too many have actually philosophized on the questions of meaning in life, and which pertains to a different kind and classification of codified philosophizings, and our capacity to engage specific mind and body philosophizing in regards to what has actually come to develop psychology, and even philosophizing on psychology, which originates from the metaphysics of self. And the metaphysics of self originates the philosophy of mind and body, and also the philosophy of psychology ultimately. And we see these developments really starting with the question of why life has meaning. And this was really originating from thinkers like Aristotle, but also thinkers throughout history, including myself, who at a young age were interested in questions of meaning and started from their own original starting points, in which they were not exposed to thinkers like Aristotle yet, or even Kant, who's not philosophizing on the metaphysics of self actually at all. He was philosophizing more on the mind and body, and he was more concerned about the problem with becoming too rational in our thinking. Not that there was actually to get rid of, say, reason. He actually was a big advocate for reason, but he saw that there was issues when we gave up certain aspects of our sentimentality when it regarded emotions. That he wouldn't use the term sentimentality, but he would use what he instantiated as the categorical imperative, and this very much pertains to meaningful emotions. And of course, this is before there was a term for meaningful emotions that he would have access to knowledge regarding, and which he was thinking in a completely different manner of approach, but in meaningfully similar weighed thoughts in regards to how he constituted his ideas of morality and ethics, and what actually should constitute in a correct philosophy of action in regards to ethics and morality, and how we should conduct ourselves meaningfully, so in regards to how we could establish a sense of duty in response to our conducts regarding with the direct perception of internal codes of conduct that we could create universalizable, in which we wouldn't just arbitrarily and meaninglessly and absurdly attribute to just one-off situations or one specific type of individual, but which any individual who meets the good enough and necessarily necessary conditions to satisfy the criteria of perception, action, behavior, well-defined rather than vague, which guides the navigation of ethical and moral conduct, should be conducted as such and correct to that self-instantiated original code, one that doesn't necessarily come from another individual, but which requires us to engage these free agency processes and to actually think of why this is meaningful and why this action and behavior is meaningful in relation to our causations of direct perception, that has to engage that thinking process, and a meaningful thinking process that allows us to tap into that universality. And often, as we engage these original quests of ours, we can become more realized in regards to our development of these actualization tendencies, that we can engage these stepping stones of meaning that allow us to actualize ourselves without having to ever summit a self-actualization that's just kind of then and done, in which we can near far constantly continue and can help to prolong our existence and even constitute the immortalizability of it as we quest even deeper into the inner cosmos of our existentia and auto-inteligencia, which pertains to our self-intelligence processes. And that's all I want to say for this video. I hope you have an awesome one. Enjoy.